What is up, everybody? Welcome back to I1 Entertainment. We are here, Gamers Paradise 2. We are in the thick of it, level 8, and we are here with the one, the only, Miss Jacquie. Jack, how you feeling?
Not as nauseous as I have been, but really nervous. I mean, yep.
Okay, so this level, Jacquie voted for simulation, and she decided she wanted to play in, you can only choose one event for the level. You either play CPU, play Corruptor, or vote in the debug report. Jacquie chose to play in the CPU competition. Any reason, any strategy went into that decision?
So it was like a dual strategy. So at first I was like, as I was sending off CPU in my RAM unit, I'm like, I need to take control of my game. I need to play for my own safety. No one is going to look out for me. But then when I saw that it was Sean and Garrett who chose CPU, I was like, I need to figure out how to manipulate Garrett and make him keep me safe this round, throw it to him so that way he gets the blood on his hands.
Okay. I probably should have just started off rewinding a little bit in the last debug report. It was Tasha versus Papa. Why do you think not a single debug was in Tasha's favor?
Um, because I think there are a lot of people who are using Papa as a shield. I know speaking for myself, I wanted to be able to be closer to Tasha and like work with her and like keep her on my side in the game. I even created like this girls chat when we were at last Wednesday. What was that, level 5, 6, level 6? I created this girls chat trying to let the last of us four ladies know, like, hey, we gotta look out for each other. But judging by how Wednesday went, me and Hannah ended up on the block, and then Hannah and Tasha ended up on the block. I don't think that any of the four of us gave a flying fig Newton about looking out for the four of us, so the winner might be male, hashtag. So I don't think that Tasha ended up being on my radar as somebody that I was like, okay, I'm going to work with her. But Papa and I have kind of an unspoken deal between the two of us that we're going to kind of look out for each other. So I offered him, my vote, for safety, as you do. You make deals in these games. And I know that there are many people who are keeping him around as a shield. So I think that's probably why Tasha ended up not making it. I wish she would have, because it would have been great to keep another female in the game, but it just, at the end of it all, it just didn't work out. There were too many votes against her.
Speaking about, wanting, women, whether you all going to work together, make the final four, or whether just, have each other's back, because looking around, the female energy of this game is quite small compared to the masculine energy. Tasha goes looking around. It's only, thank God, fucking Queen's left, but it's only you, Hannah, and Sharonica. Does that concern you at all, just based on gender division at all?
It does a little bit, because like I said, it lowers our chances, it makes it so that way the future is male. And I wasn't really interested in that. I would love in a perfect world for us to be Beyonce, Michelle, and Kelly. It's just not gonna happen. I already know for a fact that Hannah has a hard arm up against me because of the fact that Sean is in the game. I don't think Sharonica feels the same way, but if I had to say who I think Sharonica would choose between Sean and myself, I think she's on the side of Sean because she probably feels safer with Sean and numbers that Sean has had with her. So I'm literally a sitting duck. Like I can't make friends with the girls. I can't make friends over here with other people. I'm here. I'm just sitting.
You mentioned something on the call with Garrett and Sean the other night that I hadn't heard you say in a confessional. Maybe you did, I missed it, but I really haven't heard it. But you said Sean like stole, or like claimed all of the friends, which after hearing it from you, it was like, wow, it is sort of like, so elaborate a little bit.
So my game is strictly social. She don't win nothing. I want a corruptor when I know I needed it, and I'm trying to win the CPU because I know I need it. But also I have to rely on my social game. And I feel like during this whole like first week and a half, there were a lot of like bumps and rocky roads that we all had to go through and endure. But what a lot of viewers don't know, and a lot of the castmates don't understand, is that when Sean was out politicking and out making connections and like spending hours on calls with people, because we're a parent duo in real life, one of us had to be wrangling the child, you know? So I wasn't out in these streets making as many connections as I normally would in another game, because I'm the balance, you know? And if I have time to sit and chat with someone for hours, where's Jackson? Jackson's with his father, you know? So it's been a really hard balance in that. And I guess it's kind of revealing of how our home dynamic is that, you know, I'm really hands-on with Jackson and Sean can be when necessary. So it's been telling our business a little bit. So Sean has been out making all of the connections, all the alliances, winning all these comps, making himself a really big threat, which by the way, I don't mind. I let him do it. But then, you know, it leaves me with kind of like scraps where no one wants to talk to me because they think that Sean and I are so connected. And we're not, our pillow talk at night is not about this damn game. Okay. So it just kind of like dampers my game, because it's like, is Jacquie going to tell everything to Sean? Is Sean going to tell everything to Jacquie? So there are a handful of people who are like, we got to split them up because we don't know what information they're trading.
Do you think if the roles were reversed, because I guess based off of like what you're saying, what helped Sean like get in those streets making those deals was his CPU wins early on in the season. He was like the only one to have two CPUs to his name by like week 3. And typically when you're like an HOH in these games, people come to you for safety, deals are made. So do you think if Jacquie was the level 1 CPU and Jacquie won the tie or the CPU to send Haley home in week 3, do you think that you would be in the position with all of these deals and he would be the one having to sort of pick up the scraps?
Maybe, but like I said in my interview, like he once he figures out the comp, whatever it is, if you give him just 5 minutes to figure it out, he'll break it, and he's the comp person. I am not the comp person. I am the social person. So I think him winning helped. You're right, because it gave him an opportunity. When you are sitting in this like HOH position, everyone wants to come to you with information. Everyone is like, oh my gosh, I think you have power now. So let me talk. So I think him winning helped a whole lot, because it put him in a place where everyone wanted to try and make sure that they gained some kind of safety with him. But that's his game. You know, his game is the winning, like the competition, so that way he can now be in the center of the web of knowledge. Mine is connecting with people genuinely and like making friends, so that way they're crying if they have to put me on the block because I know so much information and I already saw it coming, and not being backdoored. Like that's the difference. But I think it's helped a little bit. It's helped. I know for a fact I have helped his game, because I've kind of been low key and trying to get information on the side to help me. And I know things about what he's doing in his game that he might not even know that I know. Like I know about his different alliances. I know who's in these alliances based off of what conversations that I've been having with people who are connected with him, you know, and that's how I know, oh, I'm being stiff armed because they already got to deal with Sean. So, but he's not the best at like gathering intel from everyone. He's more of like, let me win, and then they'll tell me what they want me to hear, kind of thing. I hope that makes sense. He's
No,
being told what people want him to hear, but I'm finding out other information.
yeah, yeah, makes perfect sense. So now I know, at least with Garrett, he's letting y'all know. I'm being honest with you. I'm concerned about y'all being a couple going further in this game. And if other people aren't letting you know about their concerns, well, they're just not being honest with you. Do you take what Garrett says as, you know, some truth to it, that there are other people having these conversations? He's the only one bringing it to you. And with that being said, how do you plan to mitigate these concerns of you and Sean going forward?
So it's really hard with Garrett. I think that he's right about the conversations that people are having. I believe that he is in the center of those conversations and that he is not stopping the conversations, you know? So what my strategy was, once I realized, okay, I'm not sure if I'm going to win this CPU, but let me figure out what I can socially do. Like, let me figure out what my social strategy is here. Like, if I'm a social player, what can I do socially to have this benefit me? So I didn't talk to Sean or Garrett really in depth before the vote. I figured Garrett was going to choose simulation, but I didn't know what he would do. I was just hopeful that if we did simulation that Sean would choose to play for the CPU again. And it worked out in my favor because now if people are pegging me and Sean as like a firm two, even though we're trying to tell everyone we're not, if Garrett is in conversation with us or in bed with us, if you will, then he would automatically be roped in as a final three. And I think that that would be a detriment to his game if that information found out. So it's kind of like a blackmail situation. Like, if I can't trust you, then I'm at least going to be able to hold something over your head in the event I don't win or in the event I do win. Like, I don't know where Garrett's head is, and I don't trust him. I know he had a conversation before our CPU chat, and I know what the details of that conversation were, or I can assume what most of the details of that conversation were. And I think his intention was, I'm going to win this CPU and I'm going to put up Sean and Jacquie. But I'm hoping in some weird twist of fate that either he agrees with the deal he made with us. So that way I don't have to put him on blast and be like, well, he actually is in a final three with me and Sean. So as he's telling you all that we need to go, he's also laying in bed with us. But I would rather not be messy. But, at this point, it's balls to the wall. I have nothing to lose. So it would only be detrimental to his game at this point.
Especially like if he wins and you are on the block, like you've
Yeah.
already hit the block, you've already seen your life flash before your eyes. And if anything, like if you were the one who was going to leave when Tyler left, then if you do get nominated by Garrett and get out, well, you just got 2 extra levels, right?
Yep. Yeah. So yeah, I know I'm a cat with 9 lives, and I definitely, I don't want to waste them. I kind of want to make sure that as I walk out the room, I throw the smoke bomb in there and let them reservoir dogs their way out.
I love that match. So overall, how are you feeling about your position? And like, I know this is definitely more difficult to plan ahead than like your typical big brother, because and that the level that comes up could just change fucking everything, right? But do you have just like a light idea, a light strategy of how you're going to just make it through a level or two?
So this definitely is the first game that I've ever played where I'm like, I have to take this like literally, not just round by round, but like each stage in the round. Like, I can't just, because of the different levels that happen, I can't just be like, oh, I'm safe this whole. No, I have to be like, all right, I'm playing for the CPU. If I don't win it, or if my plan doesn't go accordingly, what's my next move? Like, to get me safe for the next thing. So like this round, this portion, the CPU portion of this level, I was trying to make a deal with Garrett to keep me safe, period. If I end up not being safe, now I got to figure out, will Papa save me? Or will Billy save me? It's now I got this thing going on. And then for the next level, if I make it past this level, who do I think I can rely on for anything? I have to think about what level is chosen, and then who within that level would keep me. It was only convenient that after the Tyler situation that we decided to go with survival. And thank God that the people who I've been talking to were like, we got you. Whew. But if we don't do another survival, then if we go to retro or something and a power for retro isn't played, then I might be screwed because I don't even have a chance to save myself. And it's been made very clear that if either myself or Sean end up on the block, even if it's on accident, like it was with me and Hannah, then then that's it. We're screwed. We're gone, like instantly, like without, it's like a hive mind without anyone even speaking. They're just like, all votes go to this person. Like, so I have to take it stage by stage, within each level.
Each level. It's like, all right, planning and strategizing for the CPU, and then that's announced, and you strategize a plan for the corruptor of whatever level, and you strategize a plan for the debug if you even have a vote. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah,
a lot of layers.
I love it. Y'all did good with this. I'm not even gonna lie. Y'all did good.
Thank you. Drew's mind is great. I'm good on questions for now. Is there anything that like you've been meaning to get off your chest that I haven't touched on?
I don't know how production wants us to handle our own offenses within our conversations. I assume that you all just want us to have conversations with each other and be adults. Yeah. But it is challenging when you have individuals who are just like not even hearing you or interested in having these adult conversations. And so because of the conversations that I've had with Gary, it makes me feel a little more confident, especially after having everything that we went through in the first portion of this game. So I do want to, thank y'all for shining light on, have these conversations. It's okay. You're supposed to be a grown up. Not only that, but we're thousands of miles away from each other. If you can't talk on a phone, then what are you doing with your life? Why are you playing these games, kind of thing? So I just wanted to make sure I sent a special shout out to y'all for like encouraging us to have adult conversations. And when there is like something that has happened, like, we should be able to come to each other and say, hey, this is what you did. This was your transgression, fix it.
Mm-hmm. And obviously, like, we create these games for fun. So people enjoy, like, half of us are never going to be on reality TV, right? And these are the opportunity to get that like competitive energy out. A lot of the people that I host are not like athletes. They're not like good at sports, so they can get that competitive energy out, right? Yeah. So this is like their sport. And when it gets to a point where it's just not feeling like a game anymore, I have an issue with it, right? And so like I don't want to force anybody to talk to anybody, because like there are times where there's just like somebody has a vibe and energy that's just going to bring me down. And I'm very like, I need to keep my shit high. I'm a high vibrating person. And so like when people in a game like that when they make me feel some type of way, I really have a hard time being just a host. And I'm not really good at HR, which we've all come to see this but yeah, I can't keep my mouth shut in situations like that. And it is weird because it's a strategy social game. Hosts aren't supposed to be like, yeah, go talk to so-and-so. No, that's your free will, right?
Yeah.
But when it reaches a point, oh, I'm not talking to this person for this reason or that reason, like, babies, we're all adults, right? Yeah. You don't have to talk to that person, but I don't want you going around talking about that person if you're not going to talk to that person.
Right?
Right. And it's one thing to like not talk about somebody and then talk about them being like, oh, I don't trust them, right? Or they're really good at challenges, so I'm threatened by them and I want them out soon. It's game related gossip, right?
Right.
I'm not going to sit by for anything else. I'm not just going to sit idle. So I know I'm being long-winded. I'm just gonna shut up. But yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you. And although I know production didn't handle everything perfectly, whatever, I'm unapologetically sorry, because the situation, I love you. Let me